Welcome to the Penny Bloom Podcast. Ain't another place that has got more bombast. Romp past your mom, dad's listening to Tomcats. Talking everything that make you sad. We don't want that. We're here to make you smile. Put your mind at ease. Peace, love, and bloom, and always praise Keanu Reeves. This what we about. This some weeding now. We'll talk until we can't no more, and then we peacing out. Alright, let's go. Penny Bloom Podcast. It's the Penny Bloom Podcast. Penny Bloom Podcast. It's the Penny Bloom Podcast. Penny Bloom Podcast. Penny Bloom Podcast. Recording. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Winter is Blooming, a Game of Thrones rewatch podcast by us, the Penny Bloom Podcast. Today, we are covering Season 2, Episode 3, titled What is Dead May Never Die, written by Brian Cogman, the Cogman, and directed by Alec Sakharov. Originally aired on April 15th, 2012. This was a fucking goodie. Oh, by the way, I'm Colton Robertson. I'm joined by Joseph George. What's up, homie?
Hey, what's up? It's always a pleasure to be here.
It's always a pleasure to have you. And the magnificent Tavarus Pennington. What's up, beautiful?
Hello.
Oh, it's a pleasure to have you. Let's get into it. Season 2, Episode 3, What is Dead May Never Die. A goodie. This was a goodie. I thoroughly enjoyed this one, and I had a tough time when it came to the favorites. Going there was no standout. It was all just good. So it was I don't know where to go with this.
That's interesting. I was trying to kind of find a way to frame this episode because it's not bad. It's just that there's not one big thing that happens that you can be this is what this episode is. There's no red wedding. There's no one thing that happens in this episode that you're this is what you call back for it for. But every character in the episode has something of that matters though. It's not nothing happens. There's a lot that happens, but it's just all kind of
story forward crazy for sure. And we meet a couple new characters. Very exciting. Tav, how you feeling about this one?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think that this one I remember just because of how it really emblematizes, I think, a lot of the best things about Game of Thrones, and that it has just the consistency that you're looking for. It's the reason why people argue that the earlier seasons are so strong as episodes like this one.
No, 100%. This is like Joe said, nothing massive happens in it, but we are spending time with these characters, getting to know them better, and this show pays dividends for it. It becomes so good episodes like this. And a couple new introductions. We got Marjorie Tyrell for the first time, Brienne of Tarth for the first time. Very, very fun seeing them for the first time. Sadly, the last appearance for my boy Yoren. R.I.P. my dude Yoren.
He went out in quite his fashion, though. I knew after he started talking up a little bit. I'm oh man, this is where he goes. Dang it. But then I'm as he's going, I'm well, as a Game of Thrones death, it wasn't just one sword clean. That was it. It took.
He took on a few.
Yeah, it was badass
and went out horrifyingly. I might add. Sword through the spine.
Dude was already dead. That was just. Damn! What a way to do it.
Always hated the crossbow. Takes too long to load, and then he
says that after he gets shot.
After he's been shot with a crossbow. What a pimp! What a pimp! But if we will, we got 6 locations to hit on this episode, and it's cool because the synopsis is crazy short. That's how little happens at every place. It's just
not that much happens.
Yeah. It's a goodie though. And we start at Craster's Keep, where Craster is dragging Jon Snow back to his home because he caught him spying where he left the baby and such. And Craster is you know what? Get the fuck out of here, all of you. Fuck you guys. And Jeor Mormont has to go talk to Jon about his shit. He's yo, what the fuck? Didn't we talk about
this? Didn't I say that if you want to lead, you must learn to follow? Were you not there for that?
Come on,
And
John.
John's like,
John.
yo,
Dude.
you don't know. You saw I saw what happened. He's just taking his kids out there to die, bro. The boys are all dead. And Yor's like, yeah.
Damn right.
Yeah, they are. Now, what this did clarify for us is that he doesn't know he's sacrificing them to the White Walkers. He just knows that the wildlings worship crueler gods. So he's just sacrificing his sons as a religious thing, even though Craster's like, no, I know what I'm doing.
I don't know, because John did say, though, that he's like, I saw what took it. I saw he said, I saw it. And then I think Mormont was like, I thought he was in on it.
I have a feeling that what you saw, you'll see again.
Yeah, you'll see again. So, I thought it was interesting that he was able to so quickly prioritize the level of, I guess, importance of this obvious, thing that they wouldn't ideally want happening. But he's just like, it's just a weird sentence to say we need people like Craster, like Mormont says. It's just a weird. It's really fucked up scenario where you got to say that.
No, yeah, for sure. Because he makes a point. His keep has kept Rangers alive. It's solved many problems for us over the years. He's a good ally to have when this is the game we're playing. We are north of the wall. Shit ain't the same up here as it is south of the wall. We gotta play harsher. We gotta play a harsher game. And man, they do play a harsher game because Mormont's like, yeah, we're gonna go ahead and hold on to our mans here. And he's Mormont. He's like, I don't like it. It's really nasty, but ain't shit we can do about it, and ain't shit you're gonna do about it. Alright? And John's like, all right. He says, I saw it. I saw what took him.
Is the justification more of they're just north of the wall and that's just how things are in the north? Or is it more of the war is coming and we need, we cannot have enemies? It's there is no sides. Is that more of Mormont's, justification? Is it when winter comes and he now knows that the threat is real after having one wake up in his, in Castle Black and attack him? Is it more of even though Craster is one of the worst imaginable people, that doesn't matter right now because it's all of us versus all of them, sort of thing. Is that it? Or is it just we're north of the wall, we're trying to find engine and, leading a thing and it's just...
I think there's no reason it can't be a bit of both, I think that I think that what he says is reason enough that he has provided them shelter in times of need, and many Rangers have needed this keep. It's the only keep for miles that's worth the shit.
True. That is true.
It's not only I think it's not only a place they need, but nobody wants to stay there to maintain it, and therein they need a guy like Craster. I think it's there's levels to it because, frankly, when I hear the war is coming, I think that one Craster is not going to do much in the effort of the White Walkers, if I had to say so myself.
Probably only going to add to the army.
He would probably withdraw himself completely and decide he's not going to fight for either side.
Or just get killed anyways and then raised from the dead and then adds to the Night King's army.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Actually, that is what probably happens, right?
Probably. I think they
were
make
north
an
of the
effort
wall
to burn everybody who dies here at some point.
That is true. They do start doing that. They do get smart eventually.
They become a little bit more diligent about burning bodies, but nevertheless, next up, Samwell goes ahead and gives Gilly a nice little thimble that once belonged to his mom. And he's like, I'm going to come back. I promise. I'll be back for you. I promise.
Whenever he explains,
he's like,
though,
okay.
Whenever he explains that it's the only thing he has from his mom. It's the only thing that brought him like comfort too in his childhood. He was like, I used to read to my mother while she sewed, and this is what she used, and this is all I have left of her. Now you take it. And she's like, I cannot possibly take this. You should not give this away. And then Sam is just like, I'm not giving it away. Or like, I'm not just giving it to a stranger. I'm giving it to you. I just love how it's like immediately so like heartfelt. I don't know. It's like, I don't know. It's cute, like knowing where they go, you know, but in this moment, it's the first girl that like Sam encounters really after joining the Night's Watch. And he's just already in love. You know, he's in love. Which is just, I think funny. But,
he's taken. I can't blame her. I can't blame him either. Gilly's a cutie. She a cutie.
They're cute. They're a cute couple. You know, they I don't know. I like them. So
I love Samwell and Gilly.
Yeah.
No, and it's really impressive how long they really make it like last. Like if you're like people are like, oh, we can't be together because of this, and it's like you're like, bro, look at Samwell and Gilly. What the fuck did they not do to stay together?
Yeah, right. No, yeah, they did everything in their fucking power to make sure that they were together at all times. And Joe, I noticed that Dee Dee is there watching cinema in the background in Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
It's that scene that was influenced by Blade that's actually on right now. The whole sprinklers of blood. Brought it up on the Blade podcast. Fun fact, but that won't be for weeks. Nah, I love Samwell and Gilly. Sorry, I was distracted by that while we were all talking. I kept looking back and being like, I like Joe was talking, and I was looking right past him. I was like, Wednesday's on. I love it. Nah, man, I love Samwell and Gilly, and they're just a couple of cuties, and they're so sweet to each other. And I'm glad that, you know, like this is a scene I didn't remember, but like, and wouldn't stand out on a like just binge watch. But you know, when we take every scene with like you know, a little bit more consideration, it's cute. I didn't realize they had such a cute little connection here so early. I love it.
Oh yeah.
But that does conclude the story at Craster's Keep, and it takes us to Winterfell, where we have an even smaller story. And we kick off Winterfell's story with one Hodor.
Yes, only one. I didn't know. We're only counting the Hodors that come from Hodor.
Yes, because Maester Luwin does approach and say Hodor immediately after Hodor's Hodor. And I thought about it as well, but I was like, no.
It has to be from Hodor. And you know, because I was watching the episode, and was it Hodor that says it first, or was it Maester Luwin?
Yes, it was Hodor who says it first.
Okay, yeah. Because now, like, every time I hear Hodor, like, my radar was off, and I'm like, oh, now I have to keep track. You know, now I'm on, and I only hear that one after. I'm like, oh, okay. You know, like,
only one Hodor.
I can relax after we're out of Winterfell. Only one, but hey, that's better than the last two episodes. We got none. That was a fat donut.
This is the first Hodor of season 2.
So, yeah.
Hasn't been much Bran period season 2. Has there been any?
Yeah, not much Bran so far. There's been a little bit, I think.
A little bit.
It's basically just what we got here. It's like check in. He has a dream, and we know a little with Osha and Bran, and then move back on. Is like what it's been with Bran.
He's got giant's blood in him. No, but yeah, no, I loved this sequence visually as it being like shot from the perspective of Bran seeing through Summer. Because I was like, this is interesting camera work. I didn't catch it at first because it was like the approach to Hodor and then past Maester Luwin and stuff. And I was like, oh, this is interesting. And it like fades into Bran's room. And I was like, oh, this is hard. And then I realized as it climbs up on his bed and comes face to face with him, I was like, oh, that's dope. That is dope.
That's like, I think this was to show how Bran knows that it's not a dream. Because like, he saw this wolf walk in like through Winterfell right up to him, and then he woke up everyone that he just like everything perfectly, you know. And he's like, exactly. That's just I don't know. It is really sick. And like on the rewatch, like on the camera work, whenever it started, like I thought it was just like cinematic at first, but then it started to kind of like sway back and forth, like kind of like a wolf walking, and I'm like, oh wait, this is a wolf right now. And then I realized it was really cool. Like, I don't know. It is really weird though that he keeps mentioning Rickon though. He's like, Rickon had that same dream
that I did. I never remembered that.
I swear, Rickon was the most, like, just not cared about, just fucking thrown to the side. Nothing character whatsoever. But, like, Bran, like, every time it's been, like, Rickon's been weird, too. Every time he's been on camera. Like, no, we won't. You know, like, we'll see them again, whatever. No, we won't. When he walks out, and then now, like, Bran's coming up, and he's like,
Dad.
Yeah, like, I don't know.
I saw him in the crypts.
I don't know. I feel like they had plans for Rickon.
Seems like they didn't want to cut Rickon's actor any more money. Because like there was so much potential to, like, especially with the way that they were developing Game of Thrones to be almost narrated by the Stark family, by the children of Ned Stark. And then they're just like, yeah, Rickon was there. He was there until
Rickon
he
was
died.
Rickon. Every other Stark are like the largest characters in the universe.
Yeah, like
every single one. Bran is the 3-eyed raven. Jon is the biggest character in the entire show. Sansa becomes the Queen of the North, Warden of the North. You know, she has the entire North.
No, Queen of the North. She emancipates the North when Bran becomes king.
There you go. Arya, she's just going west of Westeros, just going off. She killed the Night King. Did that. Robb Stark was the king of the North and was absolutely tearing through shit when he was, alive. So, like, every single Stark is absolutely badass. And then you have Rickon. The only notable thing...
can't even run in zigzags.
That's it. Literally, that's the only notable thing that happens to him is he gets shot by an unbelievable Ramsay arrow shot. Like, literally, that's the only thing that happens to this guy.
It's the only time that you're ever implored to be like, oh, I feel bad for Rickon. Like,
but even while he's running towards Jon, I'm more feeling for Jon than Rickon. I'm like, oh, Jon has seen Rickon die, not like Rickon's dying. I'm like, man, Jon has to see hilarious. That. It's more of like what I'm thinking, is like, I don't give a fuck about the kid that's running in the field.
It's messed up when you put it that way, but it's true.
I'm sorry,
it's massively true. Like, I can't. When Rickon, I remember the first time I watched it. It's so funny when Rickon gets the arrow. I just went, we won't
lose any plot with his death.
No, yeah, I was like, damn. And then Jon was hanging out there by himself, and I was like, oh, no. But, anywho, Bran confides in Maester Luwin about what he's been seeing, and he's like, I remember Nan used to tell us stories about spiders, big as hounds, and people who could see through animals. And Maester Luwin's like, yeah, those are just stories. And Bran's like, yeah, but like, I'm definitely doing that when I go to sleep at night. No, you're not. But I'm pretty sure I am. No, that stopped a long time ago. Yeah, dragons are gone. Nobody gives a shit about the children of the forest anymore.
Forgotten.
And his justification is just, how many of your dreams haven't come true? And it's like, but you're missing the point. What if any of my dreams came true, right? Like, that's something. There's something to be said there.
Not just a coincidence.
In defense of Maester Luwin here, dude even pulled out that chip and tried spells and magic and shit, and it didn't work for him. This dude has been alive for a long time. He has a lot of chains. This is Bran, a kid whose parent just died and is going through trauma. He's probably like, okay, I know you think right now because you saw your dad die in your dream that like, in defense.
Oh no,
dude has been around 100%. The block, and he's not just like trying to.
I understand, but he's a closed-minded old head.
We full well know Bran becomes the 3-eyed raven, and no magic and dragons are alive over on the other side of the world. Maester Luwin is just a dude who's been in Winterfell for the last I don't know how many years, chilling as a maester. But
yeah, he wouldn't have any way of. Yeah,
I was gonna say he's like I'm sitting here watching it like I'm Luke Skywalker in The Last Jedi. Funny, every word of what you just said was wrong.
That's true. He is wrong. This is true. He is wrong on every account.
I get it. It's also not just what he studied. It's also something of what he wants to believe, which also helps. That also helps confirm your biases and stuff. But because I mean, what kind of shit would that open the world up to if there was magic and stuff? And we see he doesn't. He'll be gone before long. But that does conclude.
He's already old too. So
it was tragic, I must say.
That's a tough one. I remember, because it's just so pointless. It won't be long now. It's a few episodes out. Like, yeah, it's just so pointless. But that concludes the story in Winterfell and takes us to the Stormlands, where Catelyn Stark pulls up and is arriving at the camp of King Renly Baratheon, who's having a nice little tourney in which you watch a couple of armored folk go at it for a while. Marjorie stands up, yeah, House Tyrell, Loras, woo! And then Loras gets his fucking ass beat. And he yields. Brienne of Tarth kneels before King, takes her mask off, and he's like, whatever I can give you, you fucking got it. And he's like a seat on card. It'd be hilarious if he was like, oh, well, I accept that. He's got to
Actually, one more ask. Just retry. Just act like you didn't say that. No. I think, I don't know, I think he makes this decision on his own, no matter what. I was wondering if Marjorie wasn't there and it wasn't in front of everyone else, does he still make this decision?
Oh, yeah.
If there wasn't the pressure of everyone and everything, I'm like, no, I think
the pressure of everyone else is telling him to say no.
Yeah, I know. And that's, I think
that's why I'm like, he definitely would have said yes if they were alone. Like the way that he looks at Loras and Loras is like, fucking no. Like, don't say yes to that. It's just like, I don't know. It's so funny to be like, not accepting people for the way they are when you are so vastly not accepted for the way you are. I don't know. It's just so it's always so curious.
Renly, regardless, would have made the worst king.
He's too nice, I think.
He's too nice. And
I think he's more of I think he wants everyone to love him more than, I think that's what he would probably he would try to make people too happy and him be the good guy. But I don't know, I think his intentions are good though, or are better than most of the other kings that we got up here. I think
I'm like, of the options, I take Renly.
I think Rob and Renly are close.
Rob's not trying to rule the Seven Kingdoms though. He's trying to rule the North.
That's true.
That's true.
I guess that'd be the most ideal scenario, is Rob ruling the North and Renly being in King's Landing. And whatever happens.
If we're interpreting the Game of Thrones to be kind of the revolving door that it is, until Bran comes around, I feel like Renly gets fucking massively manipulated if he becomes king.
Renly dies.
That's
very quickly. Littlefinger has that man killed.
Man, and him being gay too would
cause all sorts of problems for the realms.
It'd be so hard for him. He'd have
a rough time.
I don't know, but the Brienne thing it's hilarious to me that people were hesitant to being on the Kingsguard, and it's like, well, you just saw her absolutely humiliate a very, very decorated swordsman in front of you, and then their one wish over anything, they can have anything under the king's power under their eyes. So anything, it's in my power. She says, I just want to protect you for the rest of my life and swear my fealty to you forever.
I was like,
yeah, this dude's the Knight of Flowers. He is known in the realm for having beaten Jaime Lannister in a tournament. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. How about y'all just go ahead and forget your biases for a little?
Instead of being hesitant to the idea, maybe just think to yourself that you just witnessed maybe one of the greatest Kingsguard coming of all time, you know? Like, you just witnessed the greatest Kingsguard draft ever. I don't know what, like Sir Barristan. Maybe that's the other one. You know, I don't know. I want to see that fight. I want to see that fight. Brienne of Tarth for Sir Barristan. Holy shit! Who wins that?
I got Sir Barristan
in their prime.
I can't lie.
Because
hey man, Barristan's a tough beat for like anybody.
I know, but Brienne beats the Hound eventually, right?
Yeah, Brienne beats the Hound, but like.
Brienne beats the Hound. She beat
the Hound. The Hound
in proxy Jaime. Like, she beat Jaime by the transitive property a little bit there. So like, Brienne's nothing to be fucked with, you know.
Oh no, she's top 5 for me. You know.
Could Sir Barristan beat the Mountain? You think?
Yeah.
Could Brienne beat the Mountain
with prep time? But yeah,
with prep time. We talking Batman or something.
Yeah, no, we are though.
With prep time.
He needs prep time, but he's got him.
Okay.
See, like for me, it's like top 5 in Westeros: Barristan Selmy, Arya Stark, Oberyn Martell, Pedro Pascal.
Okay. Ooh, he is.
No, I really feel like Oberyn Martell's fatal, like the way that he dies, really exposes a fatal flaw about, like, it's like,
is that
even
hubris?
though,
am I using that word correctly? I want to start using this word correctly. His hubris got to him.
Yes,
or it was his hubris. I don't know. I like that word, and
that really showed in the way that he fought, which means I feel like that happens in more than just the fight with the Mountain. Like, he gets caught off guard, or he gets too nonchalant or gloaty, and it's over, just like that.
Hey man, but when we talking pure skill,
that dude
had
to cut up the Mountain.
That dude had the Mountain killed. That dude beat them. He did beat the Mountain. Like, fair,
but
like,
he didn't.
But he didn't.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, no. But Brienne, right there.
3 was
he was top. Yeah, he was top. Like, I'm not going in any order. I'm just saying, like, those are my top 5.
Okay.
And then it would be Brienne, and then like I think I'd slide Bronn in there. Crazy enough.
John, hey, dude. I mean, he's kind of goated with the sword.
No,
I think
John's
he's got to be. He's got to be up there. John's got to be up there.
Yeah. Okay. Take Bronn out. Replace him with John. I'm good with that.
That's a strong top 5.
It's a top 5. It's a top 5. But nevertheless, Brienne bitches Loras, and Renly introduces his new wife, Marjorie Tyrell, to the now arriving Catelyn Stark. And Marjorie says she's sorry for her loss, and Renly's like, "Yep, I'm gonna bring you Joffrey's head." Woo! And Renly's like, "Yeah, check this out. I got 100,000 men. You dig that?" And Loras is like, "If Robb wanted us to join forces, then he should have go." And Catelyn claps at him like, "Hey, he's actually fighting a war, not playing at one. Take this for real. I have shit to do. He has shit to do. What are you doing down here? You're playing. You're having fun."
And that's when Renly was like, "Okay, let's quiet down. Let's not let everyone hear this. Let's talk.
Let's walk this way.
Let's walk this way."
Like, hey, and that's I think that's his plan. He's a morale. He's using the morale of the people as his power. Like that's where his power comes from. If his people are happy, they will fight for him and want to fight for him. Because without it, what does he have? He has his claim and his people that he has weak right now. So he's got to really keep what he has, and that's why at the first sign of an ally, a real warrior, war proven already, fighting the real war right now and won, like, he's like, all right, let's go. Like, yes, I am in, pretty much.
He's like if Kylie Jenner from the Pepsi commercial became president.
Yeah. He's like, you know what? We just need to stop all this fighting, man.
brutality, racism can be fixed by a carbonated beverage that is just
share it.
Just share.
Wow, man.
Equality.
Joffrey, go ahead and give this Pepsi over to Rob.
Man, Game of Thrones could have been solved by one single can of Pepsi.
Every single problem could be solved with Kylie Jenner in the Pepsi commercial.
Yep, that's it. That's it.
But
every problem ever.
Every single one. Every single one.
Kylie Jenner and Travis Scott will save the world.
Will save the world. And then proclaim it Astro World. No, but
proclaim it Astro World.
They go ahead and make their way off, and Renly's like, "Yeah, I hear you. How about you hit the hay? You're tired from your journey, huh?" Brienne, see her to her quarters and lay her down, and then Renly's like, "I'll be in my quarters," and Brienne's like, "Should I return there after, sir?" "No, I'll be praying alone for quite some time."
He doesn't even look like he believes that they believe him.
Nope.
No, they're like, "Oh, he's gonna go fuck Loras, huh?"
I think, does everyone just know? But he just doesn't say it out loud, you know? Like,
I don't think everyone knows.
Marjorie being so bold implied to me that it was like a very
obviously Marjorie knows, though. Like,
obviously Marjorie knows, but her willingness to be so bold about it, I think, may have been trying to clue him in. Like, come on, like we need to start producing some results because people are gonna know. Like, people do know. One of the two.
Yeah, like the whole Loras telling him people are starting to get curious. You know, not many brides remain virgins 2 weeks after their wedding.
Also, it's like, just fucking lie. Like, what? Why is this so difficult? Well, I guess he didn't want to tell her, huh? But
yeah. I don't know.
He could have just handled it so much better.
Everything in Game of Thrones arguably could be handled so much better. Like, every single thing. That's like, rarely do we find something and go, this was handled exactly how it was supposed to be.
Oh, this is exactly how I would do it in my life. Yes, this is perfect.
Well, there is something later on in this episode, I think, that might be said that way.
Okay. All right. I dig it. But nevertheless, Renly heads on back to his quarters where him and Loras are having a little bit of a rift, in which Renly keeps coming on to him. Loras keeps being like, "No, why not? Really, the King's God?" Got the misogyny, bro. Now, really,
man.
in times like these,
at a time that you can literally change it. That is what is happening. You are in a time where things like that can change because you're a new king. Like, man, it's like the perfect time to let that go. You know,
But,
no better time.
It is what it is. He's like, I just want you to remember, like, my dad agreeing to marry Marjorie off to you was not all just like, oh, it'll be good. Nah, he wants a son. He wants a grandson with a claim to the throne. That's what he wants. And Loras is like, so I'm a dip. Deuces. I'll go get your fucking wife. And Marjorie walks in. Just wow. And she walks in, beautiful gown. Renly's very complimentary of the dress. Just what a beautiful dress you have.
He's trying his hardest here.
Yeah, and I feel so bad for Renly in this scene, man. Like, it hurts so much just because, like,
it's like what was the Valerian
Laenor.
Laenor. I knew it was an L. Too many L's. Laenor. Yeah, it's just like Laenor and Rhaenyra sort of thing.
Oh, she walks in, she's like, yeah, I can't decide if I like it more like this. Drops trow, or like this. And Renly's like, God, yeah,
You
wow,
definitely
tits,
don't need it. That's what he says. You definitely don't need it, or something like that. Like, well,
Yeah.
you don't need it.
You
Something just
don't it.
I don't know. And it's like he's
Not
trying
smooth
to
at all.
he's just trying to compliment her in
He's
just
like,
any
you are
way.
objectively an attractive woman. This just isn't my bag.
This isn't my bag.
But man,
and,
I saw
I
a tweet that was like how underrated Marjorie is. Like how not a lot of people.
She plays the game almost as good as anyone in this show, man.
Look at where she is now. I mean, she does get blown up. A lot of people get blown up in that where she goes, but like can't really predict that.
She was queen when she got blown up.
Yeah, she's queen here. She's already basically queen.
Yeah, she is technically queen if you recognize Renly as king, but
Yeah. And I mean, all these people around here do.
Yeah, queen still.
So I don't know. She knows what she's doing. She's the
shit. And like, it's for reasons like this scene, and I just want to put some respect on Renly Baratheon, the actor playing Renly's performance, because it'd be hard to play this with disgust if you're not gay.
I guess that's true. I guess he's probably. I don't know.
I don't know the actor's sexual preferences, but he is convincingly disgusted. And that's got to be hard to put on.
All over your boobs.
Yeah, right. Oh wow. Oh, you have just a rockin' body. Well, time for sex. I've drank a lot of wine. I don't know that this is the move tonight. And she's like, I can go get my brother. He can get you started, and we can finish it off. And he's like,
just like that.
Wait,
just out like that, like no preface, no
like,
nothing. Just
yeah.
He's like, I'm sorry, and she's like, no, they're like straight up. I don't give a fuck. I just need you to put a baby in me. That's literally all I'm in here for. It's kind of what the deal is. I'm well aware.
Wow.
Oh, just whatever you need. You're a king. Let's do this thing. If you need him to come in here, that's cool. I can turn around. You can pretend I'm him. That'd be cool as well.
that one got me. I was like, yo, she really doesn't give a fuck. Like she's
man. She's like, I'm trying to be queen of the Seven Kingdoms. Is what I'm trying to do. And I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna get there by any means. So let's get an heir going. All right. That's what, like, I love me some Marjorie Tyrell, man. She's such a cool character. The fact that she sticks around for 4 whole seasons, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, 5 full seasons.
That's season 6 when that happens. Man.
Yeah.
She's arguably one of the most major characters, I want to say, like in terms of what the Game of Thrones is at this point in the show.
Definitely. Yeah, she's
more important than Renly in the long run.
Yeah.
Which is insane.
And more just as successful. She's as successful as I think
arguably more successful as far as being recognized realm wide as the queen. She was married to the king of the Seven Kingdoms at one point.
Yeah, and she didn't even, and Cersei didn't even want her to be married to either of her sons, and she still.
Oh yeah, and Tommen was just like, "Oh, I love you, dude. Let's do this thing. You're a sexy older lady. Oh man, wow, you're really beautiful. Hi, I'm Tommen Baratheon, and I think Marjorie Tyrell's really hot." That sort of thing.
The show just has so many storylines that it's like impossible to remember everything, and it's like one little thing leads you to like, oh yeah, that happened. Oh yeah, and that happened. Like it's so many rabbit holes you can go down. But man,
yeah, no, there's a bunch of different ways I think that you could rationalize that, but
is that it for that storyline? Is that where it ends?
I want to say it is.
It is. The next place we would go is the Iron Islands, wherein Theon is finally brought on and included in his father's, war council. And, it's not going his way necessarily. Especially
Nothing
coming
goes
off the
Theon's
conversation
way.
with Yara there.
I wonder what if Theon like stands for like bad luck or something like in some language, because man,
hey man, this man don't got it like that.
he does not. He never gets it like that. He is consistently the short end of the stick.
Theon just means God.
Did you look it up? Wait, does it actually mean God?
Yeah.
Wow.
Or like boy. It can either mean boy, but it is from the root God, like Theo, like Theos.
Yeah, like theology.
So I guess I didn't put that together. Wow, yeah, very opposite. Name that means godly. Yeah.
Very.
He's not by any means. He gets absolutely bitched by Yara at the beginning of this episode as well. She walks in. What are you doing here? I live here. I absolutely love Yara Greyjoy, man. That's one of my faves.
Man, the one thing that's bouncing from my favorites is my performance. And the one thing that Theon actually does well this episode is perform.
Alfie Allen is incredible in this episode.
Like I don't know if I am going to give it to him, but like the range of emotions that he has to go through in this episode is actually nuts.
He's got a very good episode under his belt here.
Anger here, like yelling at his father, his like baptism, the burning of the note, like a lot of emotional scenes.
And he's able to take that sort of that chaos that you see in his portrayal of Theon, and make it do what Game of Thrones does best, which is foreshadow the absurdity that's to come. So it's like later on when Theon does things or things happen to Theon, you're like, well, this is all unfortunately in context, like he was doing whatever it takes. And this is what happens sometimes.
Yeah, man, your dick's gonna get cut off.
Yeah, they really took it to the extreme.
Bye penis. But
his name. Well, that's even better. His name went from Theon godly to reek.
Smells.
Literally, smells. And the House of the Dragon line of people don't remember names; they remember blood. So even though his name is godly, what does that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Needless to say, I don't want to diminish his performance of the episode because it was like really.
No, he did really, really good. Balon walks in and is like, "We got a plan now. Rob's army's marching south. That leaves the north ripe for the taking." And Theon's like, "That's dumb. We should not do that." And they're like, "Oh yeah, little pussy boy don't want to take the north. Little pussy boy's a little afraid to take the north, huh?"
And we were like thinking like, well, what's his plan for when the war is over? Well, then they're just going to come back and wipe him out. And his justification was, well, yeah, sure they'll come back, but we can take them. Is literally like he just blew it off like it was nothing. He was like, sure they'll come back and they'll want to come back, but like we'll hold it. And I was like, you're very confident. You were overly confident, right? I don't know. I mean, sure, you're hard and you're ironborn and you pay the iron price and stuff, but I don't know if just holding Winterfell is that easy of a thing after someone wins a war and is now the king of everything, not even the king of everything because he doesn't want to be like, I don't know.
No, yeah, it's a bad strategy, Cotton. We're gonna see how it goes.
Old strategy, Cotton. See how it plays out for him.
It's not a goodie. It's not a goodie, and
it's not a good. And the crazy thing is, I feel like they spend more time like fucking building these crazy strategy tables. I forget what they're called, but to sit there and be like, we're gonna go charge. We're just gonna go headstrong forward.
So you see this place? Hey. We're gonna run there.
We're gonna poke them with their pointy ends and hope they die before we do.
Yeah. You're gonna go left, you're gonna go right, and we're all gonna go forward.
Yeah. Ultimately, it'll end with us conquering the North. It's like, all right, guy, good plan. And Balon's like, Yara, you'll be taking 30 ships. and you will be taking Deepwood Mott. You're going to lead those ships like the good iron-born woman that you are. And Theon, you're taking a little itty-bitty ship over to the stony shore where you will kill some fishermen.
Whoa!
That'll get us to north.
Welcome back to the family, boy.
Yeah. Yeah. Theon's like, this feels like a dumb decision. If we attack the north, we could seriously die. All of us. Our house could be destroyed permanently. But if we ally ourselves with the north, you'll be crowned king of the Iron Islands, and we'll be rewarded like Casterly Rock or some shit.
Which is
and
bold.
Balon's like, what's our house words?
You're making a little too much sense now. Shush your mouth. What do we say? What's our saying that we made up 500 years ago?
What is our completely irrational ideology?
What makes no sense from a theoretical perspective? We do not
so.
Like, what?
I'm sorry, sir. What the fuck?
It's like, it's like that's the complete antithesis of a family that will survive or a name that will survive. Like,
they're just like the pinnacle of like, we're here for a good time, not a long time, you know? The Greyjoys are like trying to die.
Yeah. And he has the nerve to be like, we take what is ours, and then like
these people have to exist. They have to exist somewhere, you know.
They do.
It's out to us. It's wild. It's stupid. It's a no-brainer. These people are out there.
Yeah, Balon's like,
today.
Balon's like, sure. We could be granted everything we could ever hope for in several lifetimes. Yeah, but did we take it for ourselves?
That's not good. Yeah, that's not good enough. I'd
rather
die. I'd rather maybe die and wipe out my entire house.
I'd rather almost certainly die, is like what he's saying.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, we'll probably die. I'd rather do that than get the largest castle in the West.
You know, the Greyjoy house, or the House of Greyjoy, was never seen as a bright house. Even in universe, they're either like looked at as not the brightest people. So it makes sense. They got their boats. They know the sea well. They know how, I guess they're good archers. For some reason, or is that just Theon?
I think that's something that kind of evolves to be like a bunch of them. I think like a bunch, like that's who's protecting Bran at the weirwood tree in the north is a bunch of Ironborn shooting bows.
I think that's their thing. They're like archers, I think.
Yeah, they're archers who go on boats.
Yeah,
they're good at that. They're good at arching on boats.
It seems like they just stole a lot from House Valerian, like Valerian. I always say it wrong. It just literally seems like they're a copy. Born from the sea, and like you'll be back in, Like it literally.
Valerians are gone. Maybe the Greyjoys pop up at some point in House of the Dragon, and just
Were they just the ones that just so happened to like take over the? Wait, like, because where is House that Driftmark?
Driftmark, which is the complete opposite side of the
not
from.
That's not the same, is it? Yeah, that's not the same.
Iron Islands are north, and the Valerians.
Yeah, I think the Iron Islands are like northwest, and Driftmark is like south.
The Valerians were like at the very southern tip of, because I think if I remember correctly, that was why they had that strategic position. During the war, what was the name of the war with the people with the masks and shit?
Yeah, the fucking motherfucking.
They had the ports. That's what it was. I think they had the ports for trade.
The free cities and shit.
Yeah.
The Iron Islands are up in the top left corner.
Okay, yeah, here they are. Okay.
So they are northwest.
And then Driftmark is where? Research towns. Rift. Oh, it's just not even a thing? Wait.
They blew it up.
Is Driftmark the Iron Islands? but just it's no longer Driftmark?
That could be interesting.
Is that possible? Like, whenever they're talking about Driftmark, do they ever say where it was in relation to, like, King's Landing? At all? I don't know. Like, because
Driftmark is an island west of Dragonstone in Blackwater Bay.
Oh. West of Dragon. Oh, it's right here. Oh, it's, like, very close to King's Landing. It's like, yeah, on the complete opposite. Yeah, it's right next to Dragon. So there's no way it's the same thing. There's no way. Yeah, it's like right here. Okay. Huh, but they're very similar though.
Yeah, I'd say the Valerians have a little bit more sensibility. But
yeah. Brains to them, it seems.
But yeah, the whole water shit. Yeah, kind of very similar ideals here. So maybe there is some sort of Greyjoy once the Valerians are like gone, which they pretty much are now.
Yeah.
If someone rises up to fill that void for like the ships and stuff, and if that will be the Iron Islands, could be interesting. But any hoozle, Theon's like, yeah, I think this is a bad idea. I think this is dumb, Dad. This is really fucking dumb. And he's like, you just think that because you're loyal to the Starks. It's all your fucking fault. Theon's like, yeah, remind me how that's the case. How, like it was my fucking choice to go live with the Starks. I was a goddamn prisoner, Dad. You gave me up. You accepted terms that gave me away. That was something you did.
You did.
And now you blame me for it. Now you blame me for that. Like, what?
Yeah, absolutely slam dunked his dad here, and he did not even know what to say. He was like, well, yep, okay, this is true. Yep, this is true. Let me think of what to... Yep, nope, I can't come back from that one. I'll just walk out of the room. Because that's that is the only option at that point, kind of.
Unless he also gives him a good old hit across the face.
That is true. Actually, he does never mind. He doesn't do the only option. He actually makes it even worse. Wow. What a guy.
Yeah, Theon's like, you know what? I'm going to warn Rob. I can't do it. I got a family now. Man, this shit hurt. Especially knowing where it goes. Seeing him burn that letter fucking blue. Blew.
Like I knew he was going to. Like I'm like, but I still in the meantime I'm just like, why? Why couldn't you just made one good decision, Just
done one thing right.
You could have just, I don't know, been so much better.
Bloody fucking idiot. Hit. Big old fucking dummy. That one. Mr. Theon Greyjoy. Yeah. And but yeah, ultimately he gets baptized in the light of the drowned god. Another god here. The drowned god. Apparently their god has been drowned.
It's an unfortunate thing to do to a god.
Yeah.
Seems almost impossible.
Seems that way.
Not much of a
god at that point.
That's okay. Maybe more of a metaphor sort of thing.
Yeah,
like they are just drowned. They just live in the ocean. Maybe they're just underneath instead of in. I don't know.
Yeah, it could be anything. They're
not the brightest people, anyway. So
they certainly are not the brightest.
No, far and away from it. But that concludes the storyline in the Iron Islands and takes us to King's Landing, where Shay, for what will not be the last time this season, is complaining about the situation she's in. To Tyrion about being confined to the chambers. Tyrion's like, you must understand this is all very dangerous. If you're just out and about, you could die. This is just the state of things. And I don't know, man. I think by now, if I'm Tyrion, I cut her loose.
There's no reason to keep her around. It seems like she's not happy. It's not ideal.
Maybe you love her, but it's just not. It's not the time.
It's not fair to either of you. Y'all are not having a happy life this way. She's clearly unhappy. You are. I mean, Tyrion's kind of doing his thing. He's having his cake and eating it too, if we're being for real. But, like at some point you just got to go, hey man, you don't got to be here. I can't take you to court. I just can't. You will die if I do that.
Yeah.
It's a guarantee.
They found a good solution, though. Like, the solution... I don't know if this is the best solution, but at least to get her out of the room. Like,
no, it's a goodie for now. I dig it.
It is, because, like, that's the thing, is that... is it if Tywin even finds out that she is in King's Landing, is she dead? Or is it just if Tyrion decides to, like, actually wed her?
I think it's if Tywin finds out that this woman is in King's Landing at all.
And not for any reason other than he said no.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, it is a tricky situation, though. Like, why not just, like, oh, yeah, I don't know. Just act like she's just a normal whatever, not relate, like, whenever they're out in public, they just don't interact.
Well, that's what they do.
Yeah, it's like that should, I don't know, that should have just been like the plan.
That's what sucks though, is that like that's what they do. That's what Shay resents Tyrion for.
Yeah.
And it's like, I mean, I'm so sorry. I want to be on Shay's side so bad, but at some point I'm like, you got to understand the situation we're in.
He is the hand of the king as well, and like under surveillance of everyone. Who would, of Varys, of Littlefinger, of course, like, they're watching
it's
him.
It's just that she will die, and he doesn't want her to die. And, like, that's all.
Yeah. I love how Varys was immediately chill with it, though. Like, he even was just talking with Shay, and Tyrion didn't know. Walked in on Varys just talking with Shay already, which was hilarious. I just find that hilarious, that, like, Varys is just kind of just chill with everyone. Whether it's for his own gain or not.
And these were some of the first moments where I was, Varys obviously I think was showing this in season 1, but there's a little psychological battle going on here, particularly among folks like Littlefinger, Varys, and Tyrion. There's a real psychological, intellectual competition happening.
Oh, for sure. But what's really compelling about it is that I think this season in particular, and season 3, will start to make things like between Varys and Tyrion, like they're starting to recognize that they like each other. That they are like, okay, yeah, I think this could truly be an ally of mine. And I think they're acting like they keep getting closer and closer. This was like the first step in that direction where it's like, okay, we might be homies. If you can hook my lady up like this, I tell you some secrets and you don't let them slip. He's one of the people that does not say shit. Like, I love that. That shit is that's a really fun storyline. Varys and Tyrion's friendship is a really compelling one and a very fun journey to go on with them over the course of the show. But
it is.
Nevertheless, yeah, Varys is like, yeah, I'll hook her up with a job somewhere. We'll figure that out. And later on, Cersei is hosting an awkward dinner for her children and her prisoner, Sansa Stark. And, Sansa's just sitting there. And, Myrcella's like, when are Joffrey and her going to get married? Just as soon as the war has ended. Is Joffrey going to kill Sansa's brother? He might.
Kids. They say the darndest things.
Kids, man. They just don't know better. Would you like that? What an interesting question to hit back at Tommen with. Would you like that? No, I don't think I would. And that's how you know, like, okay, we got a couple of goodies here.
Are innocent.
Right.
It's not the children's fault. They're just automatically thrown in by the name, by the blood. That's it.
Literally, this one scene is what made me go, Sophie Turner as Sansa Stark is my performance of the episode.
She did kill it here. She was, holy crap.
Yo, I loved her in this scene. The way that her eyes are just welling with tears and she manages to just keep the facade going the whole time is so good. Like, whatever happens. I'll marry him. It'll be cool.
Yeah. Just wait, Sansa, just wait. You'll come into your own, you'll
be queen of the North.
Yeah. But man, it is rough watching her now.
No, but that was an easy choice too. Like, as soon as I saw that scene, it was basically just a challenge to top it. It was like, all right, who ends up beating Sophie Turner here? And for me, nobody ever did. I loved me some Sophie Turner in this episode. And especially the next scene. It's she's very good at playing a prissy, stuck-up, racist bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eesh.
This is our first little notes of, the Northerners are not so accepting of people who aren't white, huh? Because she's like, Shay pulls up to her chambers. She's like, yo, I'm here. And Sansa's like, you're not from here. She's like, no, I'm not. And she's like, all right.
Yeah.
Just straight like that.
Yeah. I don't know. I think some of it is also Sansa has had like zero power whatsoever at all. And the first little bit that she gets, she like just takes a hold of. It's like she's just been a prisoner herself, and the first time that she can give an order really now. Like she is the queen, I guess, but like she hasn't been able to be the queen at all. And I think it was like it shows, especially whenever Sansa's being just an absolute cock, just being super rude. But then Shay is like, you want me to leave? And then Sansa was like, she didn't say no. She was just like, just comb my hair, just brush my hair. But she was like, well, no, I really enjoy the company. Like
I've been so alone.
Yeah.
Here. I desperately need someone with me. I'm just going through a lot right now. So how about, I know I just said don't brush my hair right now. But go ahead and brush my hair right now.
Oh, man. Poor Sansa.
No. So, Sophie Turner as Sansa was an easy choice for me for performance this week. But it's definitely not character. I was like, oh, that's a bad look on Sansa, huh?
Not a good look. But she'll get better.
But Shay's got a job. Sansa's got a friend. We're good. Everything's coming up Stark over there. But
coming up Stark.
Next up, Tyrion is playing some games. He's coming to Pycelle, and he tells him, you mustn't. The queen mustn't hear this.
This is
of course. The things is not the queen shall not hear a thing.
This is one of the moments I was saying that were pretty well thought out, and something that was genuinely possibly recommended that Tyrion does here, which is weave a little web of white lies.
This is my favorite scene, without a doubt.
Yeah, no, this definitely gets seen.
I mean, come on. I was struggling because I have Tyrion as my favorite character because of this scene. I like Tyrion this season. He was my two performances before. Episode 1 and 2, he's gotten my performance nod. I'm almost giving it to him again. But I think it's more of the character that I like Tyrion for in this episode. So I don't know, but this scene is definitely getting my favorite scene for sure. Like if I have to pick one scene, it's
if I'm being for real with myself, it's almost certainly my favorite too. I knew it would get the love it needed though, so I went with an other.
Yeah, dude, the transitions between each person are just so good, and it's like, like at first you're just like, oh, really? He's actually gonna wed Marcella off, to Dorne. Like, what the fuck is Dorne? Oh, he's just gonna wed, like, you don't even know. And then you're like, oh, I see what he's doing here. And then he like send up a tray,
He's
so
like, Littlefinger, I need you to head off to the Vale. Lysa doesn't like me. You could become Lord of Harrenhal. Let's get this shit. Varys, I'm gonna marry her to Theon Greyjoy. And Varys is like, that's about the dumbest shit I've ever heard.
Ridiculous.
And then like he hears the logic of it and he's like, okay, all right, I see where you're coming from here. That's what's interesting, is that for each, he made sure he had 3 possibilities lined up that would actually work to their favor, which is, this man's good. This man is good at what he does.
Yeah.
Like this was, and it happens to be Pycelle. Because Cersei comes and confronts Tyrion. It's like, oh yeah, you're just gonna ship my daughter off to Dorne, my only daughter. This came close to Lena Headey getting my second performance nod 2 episodes in a row. I love this Lena Headey.
Good. She was good here, man. A lot of
I just like the more subtle performance Sansa put on, as opposed to the big brash outburst that Lena Headey put on. It's more obviously good when someone does something like this, she was really good. And Tyrion, like, as soon as she says, you're going to ship my daughter off to Dorne, him looking at her just like, okay, I know exactly what I'm about to do.
Like, my plan worked perfectly.
Yep.
I don't know. He was trying to snitch, or, because, like, did he actually think that either one of these could actually happen? Like,
that's what I was wondering.
Or was it just to see who would rat?
Because the one who ratted, that scenario actually does end up happening. So I'm
that does happen.
So like,
would that have happened for the other?
He knew that whoever ratted would actually, like, that was his plan. Was that, like, I will find the rat as well as have one of these 3 beneficial marriages.
Yeah, no, like, whoever the rat was, he was going to propose a marriage that he told that rat.
Yeah.
Like, if it was Peter, he would have married her off to Robin of the Vale. If it was Varys, he would have tried to marry her off to Theon. I don't think that would have been greeted with acceptance.
He gave the only one that really made sense to the one that he knew Tyrion gave, like, Varys and Littlefinger. He probably knew that they wouldn't tell the queen, because they're very secretive people on their own. They would rather keep this secret than tell the queen.
They would rather find some way to spend this to their benefit.
The possibilities that he gives them is Theon Greyjoy and the person that he just got freed from, that, like, obviously, like, okay, dude, he had to come up with reasonings to convince them, Littlefinger and Varys. But he knew, Tyrion knew, like, who the rat was all along, I bet. Yeah. And he's like, I think he set his priorities. He's like, all right, I know who the rat is, and we'll get this marriage done through it, I think.
And it's also just a big old fuck you to his sister, who he hates. So no matter what, Tyrion's winning this whole thing, and
whenever he walks, he's like, brushes his shoulders basically, and he's like, I've completed exactly what I wanted to do. And
yep. They pull up to Pycelle's place after talking to Peter Baelish for a second about how he's also mad. Oh, Harrenhal, huh? Yeah, I suppose that's out of the picture now too, right? And he's like, yep. He's like, I will not be involved in your deceptions, Tyrion Lannister. He's like, oh, that's a shame, for you were the centerpiece of my next deception. And he's like, and Peter just can't resist a deception. He's like, elaborate.
What's that? Yeah, what's that? I'll never work with you ever again. Well, you're going to be the main piece of my next plan. Oh well, sorry. Guess I can't tell you now.
What do you mean by that?
Oh wait, you want to hear exactly what I want to do? I don't know. Tyrion he's my favorite character without a doubt right now. Like, even over Robb. Like, just on screen, like, we haven't gotten.
Oh no, he's definitely the most fun to watch. He's done the coolest shit a couple episodes in a row. Like,
Tyrion's like my guy right now.
His mission to clear out the council of people who have betrayed previous hands. Genius. You know, he's like,
genius. Yep.
Like, I intend
him
to
being
not
like, hey,
die. Yeah, he's like, I intend to live longer than Ned Stark.
You might not have given him the poison, but you didn't save him. You know?
Right.
You could have saved him. You didn't do that shit. He's like, everything I did for House Lannister. Cut his beard off. This
the whole time he had like those, like I don't know what that tool was, but he was like eyeballing his dick the whole time, you know, like with it, like slicing it. He was like, I don't know. He's like sitting back, like looking through it, and, like putting his dick in the hole and like slicing it. Because I couldn't remember. I'm like, man, do they cut his dick off here?
No, they cut his beard off.
And yeah, I'm like, okay. Yeah.
I was thinking though, what that tool is modernly is a cigar cutter.
Yeah, I know. And I'm like, but wait a minute. Like,
I've never watched anyone in the show just light up a fucking hoagie. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Like, I don't think they have those yet.
But it looked so medieval, though. It was not a modern cigar. It was so.
Maybe
it
is straight up a tool to cut people's dicks off.
Why would he have that in his room?
He was in Pycelle's room.
Hey, we don't know what that dude's
kinky guy.
Yeah, that dude's into a lot of stuff, I guess.
He's into a lot.
He's also a maester, you know. It could probably be used for a few things: toes, fingers, probably not just dicks.
Amputations.
Fair enough. Yeah.
General sort.
Any cylindrical object you need slicing.
Got a nice little cigar cutter here. But nevertheless, you know, Tyrion has him arrested and his beard cut off, which for some reason is just like a massive smite. Like
it's like one of the worst things that he could have done, but like very much not at the same time.
The way he reacts, you would think it's like sacred. Like
it's his wisdom. That's why he puts on the act, you know, in his crippled form. He needs the beard to be wise and to be listened to, you know. It's his whole thing. It's his whole character.
Yeah, well, good luck being listened to in the fucking dungeons, homie.
Yeah, with a fucked up beard. Now your beard looks so whack. It's so uneven and like it's bad. You might as well chop it all off. You unwise.
Pycelle gives me the heebie-jeebies. Always gave me the heebie-jeebies anyway.
He's an icky dude.
He's a rat.
He's a rat.
Rat bastard.
And now he's where he belongs. He's in a cell. I don't know. It's the kind of slandering this man's name. I don't know. He didn't really do much wrong, but he's not.
Fuck Pycelle. He ain't got no powers.
Yeah, no. He thinks he's the shit, and he's really not. Like,
Pycelle fucking sucks. He's one of the he's one of the most hateable characters in the show without having given us a ton of reason to be hated.
Yeah. Just he sucks.
I love when he gets killed by a bunch of kids. That shit's so funny.
That's how he dies?
Yeah, he gets stabbed up by like 10 children.
Ow. How does that even happen? I don't even want to know. I don't want to know.
Yeah.
I don't want to know.
Nice to just happen upon it.
That's just awesome.
Yeah, just gets killed by a bunch of kids. Hilarious. But nevertheless, Tyrion's like, all right, so Peter, I know you're upset. But how would you feel about a chance to see your beloved Catelyn again? Let's go check that out. And we leave the King's Landing storyline there. And it brings us to our final location of the episode, the Riverlands, where Arya Stark is struggling with a bout of insomnia. Can't sleep. She asks Yoren, so you've seen shit, right? You've seen some pretty fucked up things. Yeah? You sleep at night? A little bit.
Got to, biologically.
Yeah, got to. But
doesn't mean it's not good.
How do you do that? How do you do that? And Yoren goes, you didn't see that. I made damn sure you didn't see that. And I was like, And finally, I've almost been teasing it throughout the entire run of the show. My last three favorites, character, scene, and line, all go to Yoren. They all go to my man Yoren.
Really?
I love me some Yoren, man. I've been waiting for it. It was my last chance. I was like, I gotta jump on this. I love Yoren.
You have to now. You had to.
Yeah. No, I love me some Yoren, and him.
He deserves it. He deserves it.
And it was the scene where he's telling her about Willem. Was my scene. I can't even remember my brother's face, but Willem, I could see him so clearly. He was a pretty boy, Willem. And then I buried an axe so deep in his head they had to bury him with it. And his horse got me to Castle Black, and I've been wearing the black ever since. I was like, yo, this man's hard as fuck.
And then...
He's like, have fun sleeping tonight, Arya. Sorry and shit. And that's when they're interrupted by, gold cloaks.
Is this your line?
Yes.
Right here?
Yes.
Oh,
wake up, you lazy sons of whores. There's men outside that want to fuck your corpses. That's my line.
Oh, that's awesome. I've kept your picks a secret until now because you said not to look at them to keep them spoiler free, and I did, and that just clicked. I was like, what Yoren line is there this episode? And I'm like, oh wait, he has a badass line right here.
Wake up, you lazy sons of whores. There's men outside who want to fuck your corpses. I love it.
What a concise line to get people ready to fucking fight.
You gotta go at that point. They want to fuck my dead body?
At that point, I'm like, yep, all right, I'm up, and I am more motivated than ever. I'm like, yep, here I go.
Oh my god, I love it. And Yoren marshals the recruits into battle, and he confronts Sir Amory Lorch, who refuses to comply with his demands that he surrender the royal bastard Gendry. And I love the way he pulled Gendry and Arya aside before the fight and was like, all these motherfuckers are going to fight. You hide and run, okay? Y'all get the fuck out of here. I love that Yoren just knows the importance of these two and is just like holding it down.
Yeah.
He's like, fuck it. Yep, I'll take this to my grave.
Yeah, he's the only one there. He's the only one there that knows, pretty much.
And I don't even think he knows Gendry's Robert's bastard. I think he just knows gold cloaks are looking for Gendry, and he's like, I'm not going to let gold cloaks take you.
You got to love the characters who are just like, you know what, fuck the establishment. I don't care why, but just fuck you.
Just fuck you. Just fuck you. Yoren's my guy, man. And unfortunately, he does die after fighting valiantly against these gold cloaks, taking down a few of them with himself.
5 spears in him, I think. Like at the
There's
end.
A lot going on here.
Yeah, 5 spears and a sword.
Yeah, he gets propped up on his knees, gets a sword in the back, and he remains there until he's pushed over later.
Dude still was up, even in death.
Even in death, he didn't go down.
Death.
Damn, that's a man.
That's a
legend.
That's a fucking man right there.
Yeah, that's a legend.
But amidst the fight, Arya rescues Jaqen H'ghar from a near fire where the prisoner wagon is very close to burning all of them alive. And
a man can fight. I love how he speaks.
A man can fight. Yeah. Girl, a man can fight. I don't know. I feel like there's just so many better ways to go about this.
He's screaming, boy. Still holding her identity down. He knows. But he's holding it down. He's a real one, too. I don't know. Syrio, Pharrell. Or who came first?
Well, is he even actually Jaqen H'ghar?
I mean, it is a theory.
Who came first, dude? If you're a faceless man, you are no one.
Yep,
that's your whole
no
thing, is that you are no one.
That is the thing.
New Jaqen, what came first, Jaqen H'ghar or Syrio Pharrell, is the new chicken or egg.
Yeah. But it doesn't even matter which came first, because is it any faceless man can be any face, or do you have to take that face yourself?
I think they have to. Well, they have all
those faces like posted up in their giant hall.
So the idea is that
archive.
So they have to.
They do have
go
to physically
back there every time they want to switch.
Well,
they probably can just be like, I might need 10 faces. Let's go ahead and take these with me.
That was what I always imagined, which is weird.
I thought it was like some magic thing.
Like, what do they have, a special face bag? Or,
yeah, I didn't think it was so literal.
Arya legit has a face bag later in the show. We see
That's
it. Like,
true. Yeah.
Sansa opens a bag and there's like 30 fucking faces in there.
Oh,
and
yeah, she does.
Okay, fair. Okay, wow. So that is literally how they just literally have the faces there.
Yeah, and then there is also a magical element of it. They like change sizes and shit.
Yeah,
that's
they
true.
Can change height and everything, but like.
Okay, true. Yeah, it's not just like they put on. It's not like Arya's
it's like Arya's body and like a loose fucking mask over her face, like one of those shitty Halloween masks. Yeah. It's like Frankenstein.
That'd be awesome.
Be outstanding. I am no one. Like, no, you're very clearly someone under there. But amidst the fighting, poor little Lamy goes ahead and picks up the bull's head helm and is wounded by a crossbow bolt to the leg. And Arya, meanwhile, is incapacitated by a fuckboy named Polliver, who takes Needle from her, and he gets it back at some point.
He does? That's good to see. Is from Arya? Is that on her list? Did Arya kill anything?
Polliver's on her list.
Polliver's like number one. Like he's high.
He's top priority.
Did Arya
very
kill
satisfying.
anything this episode though?
No. She saves people but doesn't kill anyone. And Gendry and Hot Pie are also captured alongside Arya, where they are being taken to Castle Harrenhal. And Lamy is like, sir, please carry me. My leg's all fucked up. And Polliver's like, oh, yeah, I see you. Okay, grab my hand, buddy. Goes ahead and stabs him in the throat.
Just terrible. Like, how could you do that to a person?
To a child, no less. Like,
a child.
Holy shit. You are a special type of evil.
Whenever we were talking about Rickon's death, I was about to say that this kid's death meant more to me. I felt more for this kid than I did for Rickon. And I still stand by that. I honestly, I was like, oh my god, damn, this sucks. What a poor kid. Like,
poor little Lamy Green Hands.
But when Rickon died, I did not care for Rickon at all. I only care for the other people around him.
R.I.P. and peace, Lamy Green Hands. But,
yeah. AKA Gendry.
Yeah.
Which was that's clutch there. I don't know.
They're like, all right, so where's Gendry? And Arya's like, you want Gendry? And Gendry's like, yo, what the fuck? Fuck. And she's like, you already got him.
He loved that helmet. Quick with it, Arya. Okay. Way to assess the situation. Know that they probably knew, she didn't really know that that's what they knew that they were looking for, That's what tipped them off to go look for him. Like Gendry's mentor? Is that what that guy was to Gendry? Like the blacksmith? Or was Gendry the blacksmith? Yeah. And that guy was just kind of like a...
that was a blacksmith, and he was his apprentice.
So, he tipped him off, and he's like, yeah, he has this helmet. Arya doesn't know this necessarily. She just comes up with like, well, how are they going to know? This kid's dead, and that is his helmet, and everyone else here is not going to snitch.
He loved that helmet, man. Yeah, he was always wearing it.
Like, good on Arya. She's, I don't know. She's smart. Very smart.
Quick-witted. But yeah, that marks the end of the episode. That's everything that happened this week. For our rewatch, it was a hell of a one. I ended up going Yoren heavy for my favorites this week with him as character, his story to Arya as my scene, and his line, "Wake up, you lazy sons of whores. There are men outside who want to fuck your corpses," as my line. And then I also went with Sophie Turner as Sansa Stark for my performance. Let's go around. Joe, what were your favorites?
I had Tyrion as my character. Tyrion's rat trap setup for the scene. And I think I will actually go with Alfie Allen as Theon Greyjoy for the performance, because I feel like he had a lot, like he had to do a lot more over the span of a lot longer of a time.
He had
Of
more
the
scenes
episode.
than anybody here, for sure.
And like the shot of him like burning the letter like all black, and it's just like like cinematography, like his baptism sort of thing or whatever you want to call that was like actually like emotionally, like I don't really care for it. I'm not like, oh, I'm feeling like what a powerful moment, but I'm like for Theon, he's looking at his father, he's looking at his family, everyone's here. It's like for him, it's a powerful moment and everything.
No, for sure.
And the way he's like looking, he stands up and he stares at the, priest, whatever guy, and looks off. I don't know. I think he did a good job. I think I am comfortable giving it to him. But my line, I didn't say it. But it comes from Varys, and he says that power resides where men believe it resides. It's a trick, a shadow on the wall, and a very small man can cast a very large shadow. It's what he tells Tyrion. Forgot necessarily when, like, right, what it comes after. But
I think it's after.
Oh yeah, Varys asks him like, where do you think power? He asks him a very philosophical question.
Do you believe in do you like riddles?
Yes. Am I about to be asked one? He's drinking. He's like, oh man, I don't really like riddles anymore. He's like, when it gets too philosophical, because like Varys is, making a lot of sense here. Tyrion's like, oh shit, man, you're actually making sense. Y'all don't want to think hard now.
Oh man, are you telling me I'm a very powerful person in the realm? I don't know.
But I don't know. Is this Varys's way of being like, a throne?
I fuck with you, dog.
Like, yeah, it's like. You're smart, and is that his way of saying like I believe that you have a lot of power right now, so like I stand by you? Is that like what he's trying to say, or is it just like a tip being like, hey, I know you're small and all, but like you are the hand of the king right now, like wake up and like you can do
it's a little bit more on that side of things where it's like you hold a lot more power than you probably believe yourself to. And also I think it's like I'm down with you now. Like, you're a pretty good dude. I trust what you got going on. It's kind of how I take it.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, that's a really good line. That was.
Yeah.
I know, I went Yoren heavy because I had to go Yoren heavy. I've been talking a lot about Yoren, but there are a lot of other stuff in this episode that was probably objectively better. Tav, how about you? What are some of your favorites?
Yeah, so I mean, I'm pretty close with Joseph. I definitely went Tyrion on character, as well as Tyrion's Myrcella scene kind of being the impetus for that. I just think it's like just classic Game of Thrones. There's nothing more. There's nothing more satisfying than the political strategy. I think that they're using that kind of grabs you as a viewer early on in the show, particularly because you're trying to think of what else is there that you wouldn't expect coming out. Or coming through in these ways that you have to really interpret. If you're not really paying attention, you're going to be like, wait, what just happened? Like, why is this character getting his beard cut off?
Right.
But yeah, so I appreciate that. And I think that kind of gets to the essence of the show. And Alfie Allen just, we got to give him some credit because he doesn't get the opportunity, I think, to justify Theon Greyjoy too much. What kind of person he is, just like to get a sense of what kind of character he is. And with the few episodes that he has, in the grand scheme of things, he does it well. He does it well. So I'll say, yeah, Alfie Allen. And then for line, I think, I gotta go Commander Mormont. Whatever it was, I dare say you'll see it again. That was hard. I think that was early on, and it's a small one, but I think that's a good one.
Very indignant, very foreshadowy for what's to come. Yeah, that's a good slate of favorites, man. I dig it. I'll dig it. But does that mean we're ready to rate this bad boy?
I think we are there. Yeah.
All right. So, as far as enjoyment is concerned, I'm damn close to declaring this my favorite episode of the season so far. I don't know if it beats the premiere necessarily, kind of hard to say there. But I'm around a 9 out of 10. I'm not too far off from that, I don't think. Could go down a little.
I think I'm above last episode. But I don't think I can confidently say it's better than the premiere. I think it's like right around the same level. At a 9. I think I'm comfortable with a 9 myself.
Bet. I think I'm right there with you. Tav, how you feeling about it?
Yeah, I think 9 is a solid evaluation. It's not nothing blowing your socks off quite yet, but it's certainly very enjoyable.
Very, very enjoyable. And genre, I think, Tav, you were speaking to it with that scene about Tyrion, smoking out the rat. It's peak Game of Thrones. It's peak Game of Thrones shit. The politics of this episode were on 10. We got a little action there at the end. Damn close to a 10 if it's not a 10,
Yeah.
Damn close to a 10, yeah. No, probably 9.5-ish.
Yeah, I think, let's see. I guess we didn't get no Dany this episode.
No Baratheon or Stannis Baratheon or Melisandre.
No real magic. Yeah, not a lot of magic in this episode, I guess. A lot of just the real stuff, or magic is real, I guess, in this universe, but But no, as far as a Thrones episode goes, this is like, Tyrion setting up this rat trap, trying to catch someone, and then actually getting it, like, seeing the trap be sprung in the same episode was really cool, and everything. Yeah, no, I think this is like, I think maybe not quite the premiere, but not quite last episode, so right in the middle at a 9.5.
I'm there with you. I'm down for that. And critically, this was a damn good looking episode. It was very succinctly written. I love a Brian Cogman written episode. Brian Cogman is a good writer. I'd argue better so than D&D. This episode had a lot going for it. Like, I'm tempted to go 9.25 even.
Okay. Yeah, I think this is definitely the best made episode of the season. That's for sure.
Critically, it's really tight. I think it doesn't linger too much on any one thing. It kind of gets to it hits on all the high points of the storylines that are happening right now.
Yeah.
I'm 100% there. I think that's a fair evaluation of it. About a 9.25. Very well acted, very well written, a very good looking episode. Joe, you regarded that shot of Theon and all the negative space around him and just him there lit by nothing but fire. Beautiful, beautiful shit. Just a good looking episode. I liked it a lot. 9.25. That brings it to a 9.25 overall. 92.5%, making it the second best episode of the season so far, with top one still residing with the season premiere. But that does bring it close to some of the episodes in the first season. Still not. 9.33s are where it's closest to. You Win or You Die, The Wolf and the Lion. And there's some goodies.
On IMDb, this episode is given an 8.7 critically, and it looks like season 2 is around the high 8s, and then later on it gets into the 9s, which is interesting. I wonder how, like, ratings work. Like, if people are like, this is probably a lot of rewatch rating, and people just probably hold the end of the season in higher regard always than the beginning, just because bigger things happen. So I wonder, like, how these scores, because there's 30,000 people that reviewed this episode. It says, 30,000 people, and it's an 8.7. So, like, how many of those reviews were as the episode was coming out versus, like,
right.
much later? it would be interesting to know. But I don't know. I think it's I don't know. This season they've hit their stride and they've just kept it. They're starting strong, and it's I don't know. This has been a joy to rewatch.
We certainly have a little bit of a unavoidable bias because we know what the stride is. We know where this thing is going, where this train is headed.
No, for sure, and that's why it's important to note that we are rating this as a rewatch. Like that's I'm not trying to get in the mindset of I've never seen this before. How would I feel about it? No, I have seen this whole fucking thing. Part of my enjoyment rating comes from the fact that I know where all this goes. Like that's That's a part of the fun for us on a rewatch podcast. So, What is Dead May Never Die, coming out to a 93% on the good old tomato meter here on the Penny Bloom podcast. But with that, any last thoughts here?
I think we got it. Well, I wanted to ask. I put 1 for the Hodor counter, obviously, but do you want to say that Polliver makes the list? Do we want to say that this is the episode where Polliver solidifies his name on the list, or does is that even?
Well, we've already surpassed a few episodes where people would have been solidified.
So
the Hound's on the list for episode 2. Ilan Payne is on the list for episode 9.
Maybe we include when the people are added on to the list.
Yeah, we could do that from now on.
Okay, so yeah, I'll put Polliver. Polliver joins the list.
Yeah.
So okay. And it was.
This is the conception of the list.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, but the Hound would be for episode 2. So, in chronological order, the list is made with 3 people initially. But
and Cersei, there's no real
I guess episode where it's just.
It'd be episode 9. People anyone who's not the Hound and not Polliver was episode 9.
Maybe
just because they were all there.
Maybe instead of just saying who became when, we'll just say that the list was started this episode. That the concept of the list was started this episode.
Willem. I would just say his name over and over.
So, okay. I'm because there's no predictions to make. It's at the end of all the TV episodes, I'm always all right, what predictions can we make now for what's going to come?
Right. We know exactly what happens here. But yeah, man, this is another goodie, and it was a pleasure to cover. Can't wait for next week. But with that, if you would head to patreon.com/PennyBloomPod, where you'll find over 50 hours of exclusive content, including comic book pull lists every week, book reviews whenever I finish them up, any comic book movies or anything coming out this year on that side of things. It's going straight on patreon.com/PennyBloomPod. And for $3 a month, you can support this podcast financially, which is huge because it costs me money and I don't make any off of it unless it's over there. So that'd be a huge help. If you would, head to Twitter, follow at PennyBloomPod, follow on Instagram at PennyBloomPodcast. Remember to leave a 5-star rate and review wherever you are listening. Currently, we got Rebellion's Bloom going on Wednesdays. We're covering some Bad Batch as it's ongoing, and we're going to carry that straight into The Mandalorian whenever that kicks up here in a few weeks. So I'm very excited for that. On Fridays, we got the comic book movie Journey Through Film right now, and I believe this Friday will bring us to Superman 3. Last Friday was Superman 2, so got nothing but goodies for y'all. Just a bunch of good stuff for you on our show coming, and can't wait for y'all to hear it. It's a lot of fun. We're having a lot of fun right now, so please enjoy. I was Colton Robertson. I was joined by Joseph George. Thank you very much, homie.
Oh, thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure to be here.
Oh, and it's always a pleasure to have you, and thank you very much, Mr. Tavarus Pennington.
No problem. Love being here.
I love having you. Remember, peace, love, and bloom. And wake up, you lazy sons of whores. There's men outside that want to